ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। We looked up to the 14th mantra here in the third Brahmana of the fourth chapter. So here the Upanishad itself said very clearly that this Purusha is Swayam Jyotihi. Okay, and that has been now. So iti atra Purushaha Swayam Jyotihi bhavati. Like this again, it is made very clear that by showing the Swapna Drishtanta. So this Atma not only has been shown as Swayam Jyoti, but Bhashyakara says Krama Sancharat Nityascha, means this Atma, it was said that Vrityo Rupani Atikramati and all that, correct? It transcends the waking body mind sense complex. That means that Atma Buddhi on the body mind sense complex in the waking is not there anymore. So you give up that, or you become unaware of your physical body in the waking state, and then only you enter the dream state, where of course you can take another body mind sense complex, and these body mind sense complexes are all equated to like a nest, kulaya, like this. The Upanishad itself uses the word kulaya or nida for that, and so it takes up another nest, and again from that it comes back here. Like this, it keeps on going from one to the other. Krama sanchara, that is what. So in a series, it is taking all these different body mind sense complexes. From this, we understand two things. One is the Atma, which is Swayam Jyoti, is other than the body mind sense complex. And the next is it is Nityaha, because these things come and go. The nests come and go. The body mind sense complexes come and go. But the Atma is the same in all this. That means it is the invariable. It is the one which is experiencing all this or lighting up all these states, correct? Therefore, it is Nityaha. In fact, it is free from both the dream space-time and waking space-time. That is the idea. It is Nityaha. Nityaha means not just long time or eternal. It is free from space-time itself. And so once Yajnavalkya taught this, again, we saw that Janaka gave him 1,000 cows, but again said that his kama prashna or desire to ask these questions, correct, as per his desire, is for seeking moksha, vimoksha, and but still he needs something more, some more jnanam is required for him to achieve this moksha. Here, whatever has been taught till now is useful towards moksha, but he has not yet attained moksha, at least from his own standpoint. So he says, Vimokshaya ata urdhvam bruhi. So for me getting liberation, you further teach me. Whatever you have taught me till now, for that only I am giving you 1,000 cows. Okay. Even though it is only padartha ekadesha nirnaya, means it is like whatever the moksha padartha or the moksha which I wanted, only a portion of that I have gained here. Still, whatever I have gained or whatever I have ascertained, correct, from this teaching, for that only I am giving you Sahasradanam. Like this ended. Now continuing, what can be the doubt in the mind of Janaka, because he tells Yajnavalkya to further teach him, correct, for the sake of moksha. So Bhashyakara explains that here. Yat prastutam, so whatever is under discussion now, correct? Whatever has been declared already and whatever is under discussion, what is that? Atmana eva ayam jyotisha aste iti aste. Like this we saw in the previously only, correct? That in the dream there are no external lights. Therefore, in the light of this Atma only, this Purusha sits and does all the activities and all that, correct? It was said. So that is the pratigya, the declaration was done there. Then that was shown how it is. Tat pratyakshataha pratipaditam atra ayam purushaha swayam jyotihi bhavati iti swapne. And later on, by giving the swapna drishtanta, it was clearly explained. It was shown directly that this Purusha is swayam jyotihi and Purusha is other than the body mind sense complex, using the swapna drishtanta. But then another thing was said, correct, in 437. Yattu uktam swapno bhutva imam lokam atikramati mrityo rupani. So this was said in 437 that being the one who is dreaming, this Purusha transcends or ati lokam atikramati, this Jagrat Loka, and along with that the body mind sense complexes, which are all called the forms of death, correct? Mrityoho rupani are forms of mortality, you can say, because this body mind sense complex is subjected to space-time. Means these are all forms of mortality only. But you transcend that and then go into the dream world and take another body mind sense complex. But here there is one question, one doubt is there. Okay, iti tatra etat ashankate. So with reference to that, this doubt is there. What is that? Mrityoho rupani eva atikramati na mrityum. So one transcends only the forms of mortality, but not mortality itself. That means one is not immortal. One is subjected to mortality only. One may transcend the forms of mortality, but you are again taking another body mind sense complex in the dream, correct? That means you are still subjected to mrityu. So that's what is said here. Pratyaksham hi etad swapne karya karana vyavrittasyapi modatrasadi darshanam. So even though one is not associated with the waking body mind sense complex in the dream, but still one is subjected to either happiness, moda, or trasa is fear, correct? So fear, joy, etc. is there even in dream. One experience is that. Therefore, what? Tasmat Nunam naiva ayam mrityum atikramati. Therefore, it is very clear. It is indeed clear that this Purusha does not transcend mortality because one is still subjected to karma, correct? Because all this, why do you even have this either joy or fear? Again, we have to say it is because of that one's karma only. And karma is nothing but mrityu. Okay, because avidya, kama, karma, like that, we talk of a procession or a progression. Okay. So Bhashyakara himself says that karmanaha hi mrityoho karyam modatrasadi drishyate. So the joy or fear, etc., are nothing but karya or effects of karma. And karma itself is really nothing but a form of mrityu only. Therefore, what? One is subjected to mrityu or mortality. So, yadicha mrityuna baddhaha eva ayam swabhavataha tataha vimokshaha nopapadyate. So, suppose if one is bound by this mrityu in reality, one is limited, one is mortal, that is my nature, let us say, correct? Swabhavataha eva ayam means what? Only by one's very nature itself, one is a bound person, limited being only, subjected to space, time, and mortality. Then what? Then what does it mean? Tataha vimokshaha nopapadyate means there is no chance or possibility of freedom from all these limitations. No chance of having moksha. And why? Because nahi swabhavat kaschit vimuchyate, because nobody can become free from one's own nature. So the Agni cannot become cold, correct? The very nature of Agni is to be hot. So that is its very nature, it cannot give it up. Nobody can give up one's nature. So if it is your swabhava, if it is your very nature, there is no way of getting free from that. So atha, further what? Swabhavaha na bhavati mrityuhu. So therefore what? Mrityu cannot be one's swabhava if one is really going to attain this freedom from all limitations, freedoms from space, time, all these things, then Mrityu cannot be one's swabhava. Tataha tasmat moksha upapasyate. So if this Mrityu is not one's swabhava, then what? Therefore one can get moksha. Okay, moksha is possible. The possibility of moksha is there. So that is further explained here. Yatha asau mrityuhu atmiyaha dharmaha na bhavati तथा प्रदर्शनाय अत ऊर्ध्वं विमोक्षाय ब्रूहि इत्येवं जनकेन पर्यन्युक्तः याज्ञवल्क्यः तद् दिदर्शयिषया प्रववृते. Okay, so in what manner this mrityu is not one's own nature, correct? Atmiyaha dharma means one's own very nature. It is not one's own nature. How it is not that? To show that, okay? Tata pradarsanaya, to show that in that manner. Once Janaka asked him, you further teach me for the sake of liberation, for the sake of moksha. In this manner, having been told by Janaka, okay, Yajnavalkya, with the desire to show him that, okay, he now starts, okay, Prabhavrite, what? Sava yesha etasmin samprasade ratva charitva drishtvaiva punyamcha papancha punah pratinyayam pratiyonyadravati स्वप्नाय एव स यत्तत्र किंचित् पश्यति अनन्वगतस्तेन भवति असंगः ह्ययं पुरुषः इत्येवम् एव एतद् याज्ञवल्क्य सोऽहं भगवते सहस्रं ददामि अत ऊर्ध्वं विमोक्षाय एव ब्रूहीति. So now Yajnavalkya is explaining to Janaka how this Atma is not subjected to Mrityu. It's not that it is not only transcends Mrityoho Rupani, but Mrityu itself. And what is the reason for that? He is explaining that. So now we go to Sushupti. Okay, here Samprasade, the word is used. The word Samprasada, Bhashyakara will give the meaning as Samyak Prasidati Asmin iti Samprasadaha. So where one revels, in which state one is free and one revels and enjoys, that is called Samprasada, which is deep sleep. And in fact, in the Upanishad, this Samprasade comes first, and then there is Ratva, Charitva, Drishtaya, Punyancha, Papancha. But actually, we have to take the meaning that having enjoyed and done whatever, gone and roamed around in the dream, and also experiencing the results of Punya and Papa. There, that experience is only Drishtva Eva, Upanishad says. That means, in the dream, one does not accumulate any new karma. One only exhausts existing Papa or Punya. And for that, the Upanishad is using the word Drishtva Eva, only seeing one's Punya and Papa. Means here, Punya and Papa nobody can see directly. means punya phala and papa phala. Like that Bhashyakara will say later, we will see that. So having seen one's own punya phala and papa phala means having experienced it and exhausted it in the dream, correct? So that result of that only is enjoying and roaming and all that. Roaming and enjoying in the dream also is seeing one's own punya and papa phala. Having done that, and then one enters this deep sleep. Sava yesha etasmin samprasade. So one goes into deep sleep. And then what? Again one comes, retraces the step back. Okay. In whichever way you went, you come back. That is called pratinyayam here. Punaha, again pratinyayam. Prati yonyadravati. Swapnaya eva. So he comes back in the inverse order. Okay. Having been in the deep sleep state, enjoying that, again one comes back in the inverse order to the whatever the previous state, correct, which is the dream state. So that is what is said here. Swapnaya eva. And then sayat tatra kinchit pashyati ananvagatastena bhavati. So this is very important. See, whatever he sees in the dream state, correct? He has seen his own papa phala, punya phala, but he has not done anything really. He's only experienced his own punya and papa phala, but he is untouched by any of those things. Okay? Because whatever happens in the dream, you know that in reality nothing happened to you. Once you get up, so you didn't do anything. Even those experiences, you don't take it as real. Okay. So whatever kinchit sayat tatra kinchit pashyati ananvagataha tena bhavati. Means ananvagataha means what? One is untouched by all that. One does not bring anything back along with you. See, anugataha means what? Or anvagataha means anu agataha. Really, anu agataha means something has come along with you. Correct? You are carrying something with you means that is anvagataha. But ananvagataha means what? Ananvagataha means what? You add another negative, correct? That means you do not carry anything along with you. You are untouched by anything which happened in the dream. Once you are in waking, you know that none of that really happened, and you are not touched by any of those things, because what? Asangaha hi ayam purushaha. This purusha is asanga. Means this purusha does not have, is not attached to anything, is unattached, unconnected, untouched. Correct? Asangaha. This is a very famous Vakya, Upanishad Vakya. This again is quoted a lot by Bhashyakara. So I am Purushaha. This Purushaha, again, Purnat Purushaha we have to take here. The one who is all pervading, this limitless being, is untouched by anything, cannot be touched by anything. So that is the reality. By saying this, what Yajnavalkya has taught Janaka, that this Atma is Asanga, means it is not touched by Mrityu also. Mrityu also cannot touch this Atma. That is the reality. So it transcends not only Mrityoho Rupani, but also Mrityuhu. That has been taught here very clearly. Iti evam eva etat. So it is in this manner, like this he has taught him, means what? Now Janaka says, Yajnavalkya, Soham Bhagavate Sahasram Dadami. Again he says, I'll give you 1,000 more cows. Okay. But still he has some doubts. Okay, in dream, I am untouched by all these things. And this Atma is Asangaha. But what about this waking? Because in dream, I don't do anything. I don't collect any papa or punya. I am untouched by papa punya, karma, etc. I only see it, but I don't do anything really. But what about waking? So that doubt is still there. Therefore, he still says, Ata urdhvam vimokshaya eva bruhi iti. You further teach me for the purpose of moksha. So this is the 15th mantra here, where this Asangohi Ayam Purushaha, this very famous Vakya is there. Now let us see the Bhashya. Savai Prakritaha Swayam Jyotihi Purushaha. So whatever is under discussion, what is that? This Swayam Jyotihi Purushaha, this Purusha who is self-luminous. Yeshaha Yaha Swapne Padarshitaha, the one who was also shown in the Swapna. Etasmin Samprasade, in this Samprasada means in deep sleep. Now Samprasade means what? Bhashyakara explained. Samyak Prasidati Asmin Samprasadaha. So the state in which one actually enjoys, or one is very clear. Prasidati means actually you can say serenity or clarity. Means in the waking and dream you are all tainted by all the upadhis, correct? In the deep sleep you are not attached to any upadhi or anything. You are untainted, untouched. Therefore you are clear, you are serene. That is prasida here. But prasida also can also mean that you are enjoying. Okay. So that is the Samprasada. Jagarite. Now he explains, in fact, why we say it is Samprasada. Jagarite Dehendriya Vyapara Shata Sannipata Jam Hitva Kalushyam. So in the Jagarita, in the waking state, while you are awake, what is there? Kalushyam is there, he is saying. Kalusha or Kalusha means some kind of a taint, you can say, correct? This Atma is tainted, as though we have to say, okay? So innumerable activities you are doing in the waking state, and you are tainted by these impurities, you can say. Kalusha means impurities. So you are tainted by all these impurities because the Deha and Indriya are all engaged in so much of activity. And giving up all that, okay, you transcend the waking body, mind, sense complex, and that what Tebhyaha Vipramuktaha, being free from them, Ishat Prasidati Swapne. In Swapna, you are less tainted, okay, because in Swapna also the sense organs and all those things are not active, but the prana and mind are still active, and mind is still projecting. Therefore, it is Ishat Prasidati. He says you are somewhat you are enjoying, okay. You have little joy, you can say, not full joy. Full enjoyment is not there. Okay. So you somewhat enjoy in Swapna, but in sleep, ihatu Shushupte Samyak Prasidati. Only in the Sushupti you are totally clear, serene, enjoying. Therefore, what ityataha? Therefore, Sushuptam Samprasada Uchyate. So Sushupti is called Samprasada because of this only. In fact, later on in the Upanishad itself, this will be said. What? Tirno hi tada sarvan shokan. So, whatever the shoka is there in the Antakarana, in the Hridaya, all that one will cross over. This we will see later in 4.3.22. So, in sleep, one goes beyond all the whatever sorrows of one's heart, you can say. Okay. And again, what? In 4.3.32 also it is said, one is pure like water, one and the witness, correct? So, Salilaha, Ekaha, Drashta. Salilaha here is water, but what kind of water? Very pure water, okay? Without any, after everything has settled down, whatever pure water is there, that is how Atma is. Means for Nirgunaha, it is like a closest illustration, you can say. In fact, one of the clearest waters I have seen was in 1994, I think I went to Lake Tahoe, and Lake Tahoe was very clear at that time. Even now it may be clear, but Lake Tahoe is supposed to have very, very clear water. Even now, it is there in, I think, California or Nevada. I forgot now. We used to go skiing there, the Lake Tahoe region. Nice place. So that is Salilaha, something like that. Okay. Ekaha drashta itihi vakshyati shushuptastham atmanam. So the Atma which is available in Sushupti is illustrated using words like this, correct? Salilaha, Ekaha. But even there, one Atma is drashta. Understand that. The Atma drishti never goes away. Drishtehe drashtaram, drashtaraha. Like that it is said, correct? Atma is the seer of the sight. And that for that what? Viparilopona vidyate. Viparilopaha means it never comes to a stop or it never ceases. It never stops. That is the kind of drashta Atma is. Atma is still a drashta even in deep sleep. But nothing is there to be lighted up. That's all. So this Sushupta Avastha is explained like this. Therefore, what? Savai Yeshaha etasmin samprasade kramena samprasannaha san Sushupte sthitva. So here Bhashyakara gives the meaning very carefully, you can see, because samprasade ratva charitva like that we cannot take. In deep sleep, you are not going to go here and there, roam around and enjoy and all that. No activity one is doing in deep sleep, correct? That's why he is saying that this Purusha in this samprasada, in this state of deep sleep, kramena means in a certain order one has come to the sleep, correct? Means you have gone through dream and then from dream you have come to deep sleep. That is the order, that is the krama here. So you have become samprasannaha, or you are in deep sleep by coming through a certain order and you have now established in this deep sleep. Okay, sushupte sthitva. Being established there, but now how did you even become the one who is sleeping like this, correct? How did you come to this sleep state? How did you become? Samprasannaha means one who is sleeping. So how did you become this person who is sleeping means now he connects this Ratva, Charitva and all with dream. So having done all this in dream, now you have become the one who is sleeping. Like this Bhashyakara connects it. So Swapnat Sushuptam Pravivikshuhu means one who wants to enter, one who desires to enter this Sushupti from Swapna. Swapna avasthe eva Ratva Ratim Anubhuya. So in Swapna avastha only one having enjoyed, okay, all these things, experiencing different kinds of enjoyments. What are they? Mitra Bandhu Jana Darshanadina, being with friends and relatives and different people, seeing different people, all that, enjoying, and then Charitva Vihritya Anekadha Charana Phalam Shramam Upalabhya, again going here and there to different places, okay, getting the results of roaming around. And what is that? Shramam. So anywhere you roam, you become tired. Okay. So becoming tired. Shramam upalabhya ityartham charitva. So in this, actually, are you doing anything means? No. Drishtva eva na kritva ityarthaha. Means all these things you are only really seeing in dream. You don't really do anything. So there is no new karma you are gaining in the dream. That's why the Upanishad itself says Drishtva eva var. Okay, it is saying Drishtva eva. Only seeing. Bhashyakara adds, Na kritva ityartaha, not doing anything really. You are only exhausting your papa and punya in the dream. And again, seeing what? Punyam means Bhashyakara adds punyancha, punya phalam, because punya cannot be seen. So punya phalam, papam cha, papa phalam. So one is seeing one's own punya phala and papa phala means one is experiencing all that. Now he explains that Natu punya papayoho sakshat darshanam asti iti avochama. So already it was said that the punya papa cannot be directly seen. Wherever the Upanishad says punya has been seen means you have to understand that the punya phala has been experienced. Therefore, what tasmat na punya papabhyam anubaddhaha means from this what we understand in the dream one is not bound by more papa and punya etc. because you don't really do anything there. So he explains that yohi karoti punya pape satabhyam anubadhyate. So the one who does some punya or papa only is bound by that. Okay, bound by them. Nahi darshana matrena tad anubadha. Just by enjoying or seeing, one does not become bound by that. Means one does not create any new karma. So tad anubadha nasyat. One doesn't become bound by that. Therefore, what tasmat swapnaha bhutva mrityum atikramati eva. So now Bhashyakara actually gives the implied meaning. What is the implied meaning? By saying drishtva eva, here Yajnavalkya is also pointing out that this Atma actually transcends even Mrityu, not just Mrityoho Rupani, but Mrityu itself, because one is not bound by karma in the Swapna. So in the Swapna, one transcends the Mrityu. So tasmat swapna bhutva mrityum atikramati eva na mrityu rupani eva kevalam. So not just the forms of mrityu, but mrityu in the form of karma itself is transcended in swapna. Therefore, what? The further implication of this is what? Ataha na mrityoho atma swabhavatva ashanka. So from this what? There cannot be any doubt that this mrityu is Atma Swabhava. It is not one's own nature. The Mrityu or mortality is not one's nature. This doubt cannot be there anymore. Why? Because Mrityus chet Swabhavaha asya. So if Mrityu is this Purusha Swabhava, Swapne api kuryat. So if Mrityu is one Swabhava, even in Swapna you will be doing some activity and you will be gaining some punya and papa. But in Swapna nobody does anything really, correct? Natu karoti. But one doesn't do anything in the dream. Similarly, Swabhavas chet kriya syat. If kriya or karma, one is there, one is collecting even in dream, let us say, correct? Because kriya is one's own swabhava. Being the karta is one's own swabhava, and being subjected to karma also is one's own swabhava. Let us say, if that is the case, then what? Anirmokshata eva syat, then there cannot be any moksha for you. You will always be a karta bhokta only, bound by karma. But it is not your subhava, natu subhavaha. Why? Because swapne abhava, it is not there in swapna. In fact, in swapna, you don't really do anything and you do not create any new karma. Therefore, one transcends mrityu in swapna. Ataha vimokshaha asya upapadyate mrityoho papa punyabhyam. So, mrityu in the form of papa and punya, from that one can be freed. So that is possible now. Asya upapadyate, that is tenable. Okay. Nanu jagarite asya swabhava eva. Now the Purvapakshi comes. Okay. Okay, in Swapna, one doesn't do anything. I agree. Okay. But what about Jagrat? In Jagrat, one does, correct. That's why we have Punya, Papa. We even do Prayaschitta and all that. We have a Jatakam. The entire Jyotisha is based on karma, correct? Prarabdha karma only the astrologer is looking at in your horoscope. Horoscope is nothing but a model which correlates with the results of your prarabdha. And then he can suggest some prayaschitta also for that. Okay. So in Jagrat it is there. In Jagrat at least you have to accept that this Papa, Punya, Karta, Bhokta, everything is your Swabhava. So Jagarite asya Swabhava eva means no, na, Bhashyakara. Why? Buddhyadi upadhikritam hi tate. Kartritvam, Bhoktritvam, etc. are only upadhikrita. It is not Swabhava, Atma Swabhava, really. Understand that. And it was already shown, Tacha Pratipaditam Sadrishyat Jayati Iva Lelayati Iva. So the Sadrishyat means what? Similarity. As though means in 437 itself it was said that Jayati Iva Lelayati Iva. The Iva Shabda is very, very important here. That is the Sadrishya, correct? It is not really thinking. nor it is really moving around or playing or anything. Okay, this Atma is only as though thinking, as though doing, as though playing, etc. The as though Iva is the key here. That means in reality, Atma, even in waking, one has to know this, of course. If one takes oneself as a karta bhokta, that is ignorance only. Okay. So one has to know one's real swarupa as akarta bhokta. So all this kartritvam bhoktritvam are all buddhyadi upadhikritam. It is all only due to the conditioning factors, the upadhi. Therefore, tasmat ekantenaiva swapne mrityurupa atikramanat na swabhavikatva ashanka anirmokshata va. So, therefore, what in swapna? Okay, we are there in swapna, and in that swapna, what is there? This one is free from this mrityu. So, ekantena means completely. One completely transcends here. In the swapna, ekantenaiva mrityu rupa atikramanat, it is said, means you completely, you totally transcend all this mrityu and mrityu rupas, and from this one can be very clear that swabhavikatva ashanka, that means this mrityu being one swabhava, that doubt cannot be there anymore, and also the doubt that whether one can have moksha or not, that also cannot be there anymore. Here tatra charitva iti. Now this charitva, you said that you don't do anything in dream, but Upanishad itself is saying charitva, ratva charitva, correct? So charitva means you are moving. That's why Bhashyakara gave the meaning shramam upalabhya. You become fatigued. But the charana is not real charana. Fatigue also is not real fatigue, but basically the charitva is only for showing that one becomes fatigued even in the dream, and then one goes into sleep. So charana phalam shramam upalabhya ityarthaha. Bhashyakara again gives this note. There the charitva meaning, based on that one cannot say that one is really doing something and gaining some karma. That charana phalam shramam alone is pointed out by charitva, that one has become fatigued even in the dream, and then one goes into the deep sleep. So shramam upalabhya alone you have to take as the meaning, not that you have really done something in dream. Tataha samprasada anubhavottara kalam punaha प्रतिज्ञायम यथा ज्ञायम यथा गतम निश्चित आयः न्यायः अयनम आयः निर्गमनम पुनः पूर्वगमन वैपरीत्येन यत् आगमनम स प्रतिज्ञायः यथा गतम पुनरागच्छति इत्यर्थः. Okay, now Bhashyakara has gone into this punaha pratinyayam, this part. Okay, so having explained shramam upalabhya, now thereafter what? Samprasadat anubhavottara kalam, having enjoyed the deep sleep. After that what? Punaha pratinyaya means, here nyaya means not that nyaya logic and all that. Nyaya is a different meaning here. Pratinyaya means, first he explains yathanyayam. Yathanyayam means you are going in a certain krama, first in a certain order. Pratinyaya means it is the reverse of that order. Okay, inverse order. So for this yathanyaya means yathagata means the way you went somewhere. Okay, initially you are going somewhere means you went through certain gates and some route, correct? So that is the yathagatam. And how do you give the meaning of yathagatam for yathanyaya means nyayam itself is giving the vyutpatti. Nischita ayaha is nyayaha here. Ni ayaha. Ni is nischita. Now ayaha itself is ayanam. Ayanam means you all know, correct? Ayanam means going. Ramayanam and all is coming from ayanam only. Ramasya Ayanam is Ramayana. So Ayanam Ayaha Nirgamanam. So going somewhere or obtaining. So here Punaha Purva Gamana Vaiparityena Yat Agamanam sa Pratinyaya. So now what is Pratinyaya? Bhashyakara is explaining. Initially, in whichever way you went, now you do it the other way around, correct? The reverse of that. Vaiparityena, Viparitasya bhava is Vaiparitya. So Vaiparityena Yat Agamanam. So you come back in the reverse direction, inversely. That is called Pratinyaya here. So Yathagatam Punaragachati Ityarthaha. So finally, what is the meaning? In whichever way you went, you come back through the same way. Punaragachati. And then what? Pratiyoni Yatasthanam. So Pratiyoni means the same place from where you left. Okay, Pratiyoni Adravati is there. So Bhashyakara. Pratiyoni means Yatasthanam, the same place, which is the Swapna Sthana here. Okay. So you were in Swapna, you went into sleep. And again you are coming back to Swapna. So Swapna Sthanadhi Sushuptam Pratipannaha san Yatasthanameva Punaragachati. So Bhashyakara explains, from Swapna only one attained the Sushupti, and again you come back to Swapna. Yatasthanameva Punaragachati Pratiyoni Adravati. So Pratiyoni Adravati means Swapnaya eva, Swapnasthanaya eva means you come back to the Swapnasthana only. That is the meaning. Now, further there is a question. Nanu Swapne na karoti punya pape tayoho phalameva pashyati iti katham avagamyate. So how do we know that one does not do anything in Swapna? Because even for Charitva and all, Bhashyakara gave the meaning of Charana Phalam, Shramam Upalabhya, like that. So how do you know that in Swapna one does not do anything or one does not gain any new Punya Papa, but only experience the whatever Punya Papa which is already there? One only sees it or experiences it. Drishtva eva. Correct? Katham avagamyate means Bhashyakara gives simple explanation here. So yatha jagarite tata karoti eva swapnepi. Okay, the Purva Pakshi is saying, even in Swapna you are doing, while in Swapna I feel like I am doing something only, correct? Like how I am doing in Jagrat, similarly I am doing in Swapna. So tulyatvat darshanasya. So in Jagrat also I am experiencing Papa Punya. In Swapna also I am experiencing Papa Punya. So there is a tulya is there. It is similar. Therefore, what ityataha aha. So that being the case, it is said what? Saha atma yat kinchiti tatra swapne pashyati punya papa phalam ananvagataha. So the Upanishad itself makes very clear that one does not do anything or one does not carry any punya or papa from Swapna. Because one does not do anything really in Swapna. That is said by Ananvagataha Bhashyakara. Okay. Sayat Tatra Kinchit Pashyati Ananvagataha. So whatever you have seen in Swapna, whatever you have experienced, it's only an experience. You do not carry anything along with you from there. Nothing comes sticking to you. Okay, along with you, nothing comes. So that is said here. So saha atma yat kinchit tatra swapne pashyati punya papa phalam ananvagataha ananubaddhaha tena drishtena bhavati. So one is not bound by whatever one saw in the swapna. Because as soon as you get up, you are anyway free from that, correct? Nobody takes it as real. So naiva anubaddha bhavati, one is not bound by whatever has happened in the swapna. In fact, yadihi swapne kritameva tena syat tena anubadhyeta. So only if you have done something really in swapna, you will be bound by that. Okay. So swapnad uttitaha api samanvagataha syat. So if you have really done something in swapna, after getting up also you should feel that you have done something, and you have to, then you will feel that you are going to get the results of that and all that. So you cannot win a lottery in swapna and expect that I will get that money after waking up, correct? So you cannot expect something like that. Swapna lottery went in Swapna only. You really did not win, in fact. So Swapna uttitaha api samanvagataha means what? It has come along with you. The results of action in Swapna, that is not the case. Nacha tat loke, in the loka it is not like that. Swapna krita karmana anvagatatva prasiddhihi. So in the loka there is no prasiddhi, or it is not well known. What is not well known? That whatever karma you did in swapna, that has come along with you, and the karma phala also should come along with you then for that, correct? That's not the case. In fact, he explains that nahi swapna kritena agasa karinam atmanam manyate kaschite. So agasa means some crime you do in swapna, okay, something wrong. So even if you do some crime in swapna, something wrong, once you get up, you don't take yourself as a criminal or anything, correct? You don't hold yourself responsible for whatever happened in the swapna. You don't feel guilty for that or anything, because you don't take yourself as a karta of that, correct? Really. So agaskarinam atmanam na manyate astite. So nobody takes oneself as the one who has done some crime, because it is only swapna. And again, nacha swapna drisha agaha shrutva. Okay, you get up, you also tell it to others, whatever crime you did in the swapna. Okay. But even though you tell that and they listen to that, they do not lokaha tam garhati pariharati va. So they don't then abuse you or rebuke you or anything, correct? Scold you. Why did you do like that in your dream? Nobody is scolding you like that. Or they do not keep you away, correct? As though you are a criminal. They don't do that. Therefore, what ataha ananvagataha eva tena bhavati. So therefore, one does not really carry anything with oneself from swapna to the jagrat. Therefore, what tasmat swapne kurvan iva upalabhyate. Therefore, it is as though you have done something only in swapna. Correct? You have not really done anything. Natu kriya asti paramarthataha. In reality, there is no kriya activity in swapna. And that's why even in the Upanishad, 4.3.13 already it was said, correct? Uta iva stribihi saha modamanaha, it was said. The ivakara is used whenever something is done in swapna, or something, it is said that something is done in the swapna, the ivakara is added. Uta iva stribihi saha modamanaha iti shloka uktaha. So even the whatever the shloka which was quoted contained the ivakara. And even in the loka also it is there. So in fact, Bhashyakara quotes that akhyatarascha swapnasya saha iva shabdena achakshate. So even those who describe their dream experiences, correct? They also use the word, even in loka. So they also use the word iva. Okay. Swapnasya saha iva shabdena achakshate. With the iva only, they also describe their experiences, even normal people. Like Hastinaha adya ghati kritaha dhavanti iva maya drishta iti. Means ghati means a group of elements. Ghati kritaha. So the elephants in a group, okay, forming a group, I saw them as though they were running. He says dhavanti iva. Elephants were running in a group. But he says that, and I saw that, but he says as though running. Dhavanti iva maya drishta iti. Ataha na tasya kartritvam iti. Therefore, one does not have any kartritvam for whatever which has happened in the dream. Okay. Therefore, what? Ataha punaha asya akartritvam iti. So, anyway, so Atma is akarta. Okay. But again, how can you say this Atma is akarta? What is the supporting logic for that? Means now that also Bhashyakara makes it very clear. Because in Swapna you have said this, but that has to be now deduced in other avasthas also. So for that, how do we understand oneself as akarta abhokta? That is one's paramartha swarupa, correct? That is one's reality. So for that, Bhashyakara now explains what karya karanaihi murtaihi samsleshaha murtasya satu kriya hetu drishtaha. So the karya karana is our body mind sense complex, which is with form, correct? It is with form only, this body mind sense complex. Again, it has to come into contact with something else which is having some form. Like a book. Let us say I have this book, correct? I can move this book up and down. Means there is some karma is happening here, correct? Kriya is happening. For Kriya to happen, one entity with forms has to come into contact with another entity with form, which is also having a form or some form, correct? Only between two entities which are having forms, any activity can take place. That is the logic or the whatever the general principle Bhashyakara is talking about now. That is the cause for any kriya. Kriya hetuhu drishtaha. That's how the cause of the activity is seen as the contact between two entities which have forms. But Atma is not the one with forms, correct? Nahi amurtaha kaschit kriyavan drishyate. So you can you can move a book. Can you move the space? Akasha is all pervasive, but it is formless. You can't do anything with space, correct? You can't move the space or anything. That if you have a some kind of a false wall, let us say, correct? Some barricade and all that, you can move that and create space as though. But in reality, you are not moving space or anything. You are only moving that whatever barricade. Okay. So you cannot move something or do any activity with something which is formless. Nahi amurtaha kaschit kriyavan drishyate. And amurtascha atma, but and atma is amurtaha, atma is formless. And therefore it is asangaha also, because with the formless you cannot have any contact. You require two entities with parts to come into contact with each other. The formless has no parts, it is partless also, and therefore it is untouched, asangaha. So yasmacha asangaha ayam purushaha, therefore this purusha is asangaha. So that's what is said in the Upanishad also, correct? This is a very famous vakya, as I told you, asangaha hi ayam purusha. This Bhashyakara also quotes in other places. So yasmacha asangaha ayam purusha, therefore this, because this purusha is asangaha, tasmat ananvagataha tena swapna drishtena, therefore he is not touched by anything which is there in the swapna, therefore he is akarta. Ataha eva na kriya kartritvam asya katanchid upapadyate. Therefore this atma, for this atma there is no kriya or kartritva or anything, nothing like that is tenable for this atma. It is not possible. Karya karana samsleshena hi kartritvam syat. So the kartritva can only be there if there is a contact or connection between the karya and the karana and some other entity, which is also a murtha entity. Otherwise, there is no kartritvam possible. Such a samsleshaha, sangaha, asya nasti. So the atma doesn't have any sangha or any samslesha. Samslesha means coming into contact, getting mixed up and all that you can say. So this atma, for this atma, there is no sangha. Therefore, what yataha asangaha hi ayam purushaha, because this atma is asangaha, tasmat amritaha, because of which it is amritaha also, because it is not a karta, means it is not connected to any karma. No karma means no mrityu also. Therefore, it is amritaha. It is free from mortality. So this is a certain line of logic, you can say, where you arrive at this atma is amritaha. From asangaha, the implication is that one is also amritaha. So evam eva etat yajnavalkya. So it is, let it be in this manner. Now I have understood whatever you have said. I accept, I have understood in this manner. And soham bhagavate sahasram dadami. For that I will give you 1,000 cows again. But still what? Ata urdhvam vimokshayeva bruhi. But still you have to teach me, because in Swapna I have understood this, but what about Jagrat? That is still missing, correct? Therefore he says, Moksha Padartha Ekadeshasya Karma Pravivekasya Samyak Darshitatvat. So what was taught here? What portion was taught here is that one is free from karma, at least in Swapna, correct? That much I have understood, and now I have understood that is not, this Mrityu is not my swabhava. It is not in my nature. This has been shown very clearly, but still I need to understand with reference to waking. So ata urdhvam vimoksha eva bruhi iti. So further you have to teach me for this moksha. And then again, it's a very similar verse, but it is with reference to the Jagrat. This we will see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद.